Assalamu alaikum, dear students and those who are watching me right now. Once again, welcome to my English second paper class, especially for the students of class 6 to 10. Dear students, first of all, allow me to introduce myself. This is Ibnul Hasan Tushar, Assistant Teacher English, Ranachandi School and College, Kishorganj, Nilphamari. Dear students, how are you doing? Hope everyone are doing well. Please share the class on your timeline for your friends so that it can be a bigger virtual class. So, no more wasting time. Let's get started the class. Dear students, I already write two sentences that you can see. Here I write, he said to me, I am ill. He said to me, I am ill. Here, who is the speaker? Can you guess who is the speaker? Okay. He considered as the speaker. He said to me, I am ill. When we considered speaker as he, then he said directly that I am ill. On the other hand, he told me that he was ill. Here, speaker don't say the sentence directly. So we consider first sentence is direct sentence and the second is indirect sentence. So, dear students, can you guess what is our today's topic? Okay, thank you. You are most welcome. You can guess correctly. Today's topic is narration. Today's topic is narration. Dear students, you know narration is a big topic, so I try to part the narration topic 3 or 4 parts for your betterment. Hopefully you stay with me and enjoy the class. Learning outcomes. Like every lesson, here we have some learning outcomes that we have to fulfill. So have a look at the screen for the learning outcomes. Dear students, and now we discuss about the how we can sense the tense when we turn the direct sentence into indirect. So attention please. Direct sentence. When present indefinite, when we find the present indefinite as direct sentence, then we use the indirect sentence as past indefinite. That means present indefinite in indirect sentence it may turn into past indefinite. When we find the present continuous tense as direct sentence, then it turn into the past continuous when we turned it indirect. When we find the present perfect tense as direct sentence, then we turn the indirect sentence as past perfect. Like that, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, past indefinite, past perfect, past continuous, past perfect continuous, past perfect, past perfect. There is no sense when we use two tense like past perfect and past perfect continuous. When we find the sentence as past perfect in direct sentence, then we use the past perfect also. Like it, when we find the past perfect continuous, we also use the past perfect continuous tense. I repeat, present indefinite, past indefinite. All these are used as direct sentence, and we may turn this tense when we use the indirect sentence. Present indefinite, past indefinite. Present continuous, past continuous. Present perfect, past perfect. Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. Past indefinite, past perfect. Past continuous, past perfect continuous. Past perfect, past perfect. Past perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. There is no sense when we use two tense. Hopefully you can understand, or you got it so easily of sense of tense when we turn the direct sentence into indirect. Dear students, now I try to discuss about those words shall, will, can, may. When we find such types of words in direct sentence or direct narration, then when we use these words, when we turn the direct narration into indirect. So have a look at the board, that shall, should. When we find shall in direct narration, we use should. When we find will in a direct narration, then we use would. When we find can, we use could, and when we find may, we use might. Okay, hopefully you understand. And if we find should, would, could, and might, such types of words in direct sentence, then there is no sense. Those words are also used in indirect sentence also. I repeat for your betterment, when we find the shall, modal auxiliary shall in direct sentence, then we use should. If we find will, then we should use would, and if we find can, then we use could. If we find may, then we use might. And on the other hand, if we find these words should, would, could, might in direct sentence, there is no sense when we use these words in indirect sentence, words indirect speech or narration. Dear students, now I try to show some words. Those are signs direct when the direct sentence turn into the indirect sentence. So attention please. I already write some words in the whiteboard that you can see. So here, if we find these words in the direct sentence, those are signs by these words when this sentence turned into indirect speeches or narration. However, I say the words. So attention please. In direct sentence, if you find this, it turned into or signs into that when we use it, when we use the indirect sentence or make it indirect. When the next, when we find these in the direct sentence, it may change those when it used in the indirect sentence. By this way, when we find here in direct sentence, we change the word there in indirect sentence. Hopefully you understand. Dear students, if we find ago, it may change into before when we write, when we make the speeches indirect. Okay, came, go. If we find came in the indirect sentence, it may change go in the indirect speeches. Dear students, hopefully you got it. Okay, then thus. If we find thus in the direct speeches, it may turn into so in the indirect speeches. By this way, today, that day, today, that day, and If tomorrow take place in the direct sentences, it may change into the next day in the indirect sentences. Yesterday, the previous day. If we find this word in the direct narration, direct speeches, it may change the previous day in the indirect speeches. Okay, dear students, the next last month, the previous month. If the previous last month take place in the direct speeches, it may change into the previous month in the indirect speeches. By this way, the next week change in the indirect speeches the following week. Hopefully you understand. Dear students, I repeat for you. So please attention. We can saw some words here. If these words are used in the direct speeches, it may change these words in the indirect speeches. So attention please. This, that, this, those, here, there, ago, before, come, go, thus, so, today, that day, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, the previous day, last month, the previous month, next week, the following week. Dear students, hopefully you understand about all the words. Homework. Now the time to homework. You must try to do the homework at your home and send me as early as possible. So have a look at the screen for today's lesson homework. So no more today. Thank you so much for being with me for so long. Allah Hafiz.